Welcome to 2015, everybody. It's a brand new year. It's a brand new podcast. At one point I was going to break this podcast up into seasons, and I felt real bad because our editor totally labels them in seasons, and then I just this is podcast number 80, whatever. But it's a brand new year, and for the first time ever on the Rage Select podcast, I have two co-hosts. It is me, Jeff, and it is also...
Hello, this is Grant.
And...
This is John, and Jeff, you're a bojo.
Yes, thank you. Yes, got to make the bojo thing happen. I got to keep remembering to do that. Do you know? Have you done this yet, Grant?
It's the
Back to the Future 2's
thing.
Slang.
Yeah, slang.
What's going on with it? Why
it's 2015. It's time to start using Back to the Future 2 slang.
So we got to wear our
saying
pockets.
bojo now?
Well, I'm trying to get them to, but they really only do it because I'm drunk and I won't leave them alone.
Yeah.
So that's the way that it works. But yes, this is the first podcast of 2015, and I'm really excited, you guys.
Yeah?
I'm really excited for 2015.
Why?
Because this year, the things that I'm looking forward to are not a bunch of remade games. There's a bunch of brand new games coming out. There's a bunch of new tech stuff coming out. There's a bunch of movies. There's going to be a new fucking Star Wars movie this year, all right?
There is.
Seriously, there's going to be not only a new Star Wars movie, but also the Avengers 2 is coming out this year.
Brand new sequels to franchises. But new, but not original. Part of a franchise.
What all of Jeff's just said to me,
Yeah.
all I heard was Bloodborne.
I didn't say
Bloodborne.
I didn't say that at all.
That's all I heard.
I didn't talk about Bloodborne 1 second there. Okay, so folks, we've got today we've got a crap load of questions. Apparently, they just keep every time I turn around, there's 4 or 5 more in there.
It's a question show.
It's kind of a question show because, last week, I guess there was the big DDoS thing for Christmas that the hackers did, and there was some other hacking, and there was I had 8 news stories. I looked up this week. There's just nothing.
A little bit of hacking here, a little bit of hacking there.
Yep. Hacking the system.
Hacking the system.
Coming back January 19th,
January 19th.
Because Grant made a wonderful trailer.
I saw that.
I was like, why hasn't Jason retweeted? Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just I ended up seeing a certain clip of Jason and his laugh.
Yes.
And God, when he does a certain laugh, and he's mugging for the camera in a lot of those scenes.
Yeah.
And there it's playing up some sort of oh, what is that, Brian?
Right.
I'm the sidekick doofus.
He's his beautiful assistant.
Yeah.
Salacious crumb laugh. It was so good.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's see here. I came into this with a plan to fill time here in the beginning with talking with Grant. And I said I did my Game of the Year stuff, and I still haven't beaten Dragon Age yet, so I can't rank that. I
don't know where you're going with it.
But I was going to say, okay, so John, you can give me your top 10 of 2014, and Grant, you could tell me, I know you haven't beaten these games, but just the games that we played on the show, the top 5 that you thought were impressive in 2014. And Grant's did we play any video games in 2014? And John's I don't know what a video game is. And
I remember stuff about a rap emo-mobile.
That was last week.
That's as far as my memory extends.
You don't remember more than last week?
I'm terrible.
That's as far back as it goes?
Yeah.
You don't remember a single game we played last year?
I remember we played
The Last of Us.
Uncharted.
Yeah, we played
That's the same game.
55 parts of The Last of Us.
Didn't we play some of that?
We did.
Did we do some
Azura's Wrath is
Deadly Premonition?
Deadly Premonition.
If I get a good build-up of a lot of playing a game, I think I start remembering it a little bit more.
I mean, you played Akiba's Trip. You played The Witch and the 100 Nights.
I keep trying to forget Akiba's Trip.
You played
you maybe
Battle Princess of Arcadius.
Kind of terrible JRPGs.
Yeah. And so, which one was the best?
Akiba's Trip, of course.
Akiba's Trip.
Yeah, that's my game of the year. Akiba's Trip.
I'm really pissed about Akiba's Trip because they put it out on the PS4 with this weird Twitch integration where if you stream it, people can hashtag stuff and it puts it into your game while you're playing it.
Yeah.
Except you have to be using the PlayStation 4 streaming app, which I don't want to do that. I got a whole thing going on with laptops and microphones and shit.
Their own system.
Yeah. My issue is that this year, because of the Super Awesome Video Game Show, I have played more early access and unreleased titles, things that don't even come out officially until next year, that I can't even remember what officially released this year.
Okay.
So it's like what was your game? Well, the game I played the most was Hand of Fate. Oh shit, that's not technically out yet.
Yeah.
Well,
what
I
about
also
like the top 5 early access games that you played? Give me 5 early access games that you played for the Super Awesome Video Game Show that you're still watching fervently today.
Okay, well, the most recent would be Vagante,
right?
Because that game is addicting.
That game is really rad.
Hand of Fate, like I just mentioned, is really loving the shit out of everything that they're doing with that. I'm still playing Road Redemption.
Okay, which I just put Shovel Knight into.
Yeah, they just put Shovel Knight in as a playable character.
That's weird.
I'm trying to think of what are 2 others that I'm still actually playing. Because there's a few that are I bought for early access that I'm still playing that we haven't played yet, but it was one of those things where it's like, oh no, we're not going to play this kind of things.
Yeah, I think Dungeon of the Endless is probably the one
Dungeon
that I
of
played
the Endless,
the most last year. That game is really good.
And Invisible Ink.
And okay, have they? They've been doing a lot of updates to that.
Yeah,
right?
they've been doing
like
a lot.
Pretty dramatically different from when we played it.
Yeah, there's a lot of. They removed a lot of stuff and then also added stuff, but a lot of. Most of the stuff that's changes is removals.
Okay.
But yeah, those are probably the 5 early access games that I'm still playing.
Grant, what about your? Give me your top 5 TV shows of 2014.
My top 5 TV shows.
You're some kind of TV dude, right? I'm sure
that I can do.
You can do that, or top 5 beers. Maybe take your top 5 beers and TV shows of 2014.
I got you one better.
Okay.
I got you one better.
All right.
Top 5 beers that you drink while also matching the top 5 shows. So in other words, what beer would you?
You're asking him to pair a beer with a TV.
Yeah,
Well, with Fargo, you want something depressing, and with Game of Thrones, you want something depressing, and with Hannibal, you really want something depressing.
Game of Thrones makes their own beer from Amagang. Amagang has some cross promotional thing.
Okay, so is it blood? Is that all it is? Is
they
just
have
the blood of the innocent?
Fire, I think is one of theirs.
All right.
They have a 3-eyed raven. I think there's a couple of different ones.
Drink that. That thing's mutated as fuck, man. All the radiation in Westeros.
It's terrible. Top 5 shows. All right.
Okay.
Starting at number 5.
Why are you looking at your phone?
He's got a list.
I wrote it out.
Okay. All right.
I planned ahead.
All right.
Rick and Morty is my number 5.
Man, you will not shut up about that show.
I fucking love that show.
I've got to watch it at some point.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No. You talk about that shit like people talk about Adventure Time. Just,
Yeah. It's like my new Adventure Time because Adventure Time is really fun and engrossing and it's great. You got great mythology and all that. This is just fucked up and dysfunctional and still like you get really wrapped up in the characters and it's hilarious.
Have you seen it, John?
I have not. I have not watched it. I know what it is. I know what it's about and everything, but I've not watched it.
In fact, New Year's Day, I spent rewatching the entire first season, and then I went to Reddit's Rick and Morty thread and started reading all these theories about the show and the background of the characters. And yeah, now I'm like, I need it. But I have to wait until like mid 2015 for it.
Okay.
Fargo is number 4. Oh, these are kind of arbitrary where I'm ranking them.
Still haven't seen that.
Fargo on AMC.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's
kinda
better
waiting
than the
for it.
movie, I think.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yep.
It
Better
is-
than the movie.
It starts off a little slow, so give it a couple episodes, I think, before it like really starts ramping up. Because I started thinking it was like a little bit stock characters and a little bit clunky in the beginning.
Okay.
But then it just kind of really takes off. It's dark, it's gritty, it's twisting, it's comedic. It just fuses everything together. It's such a great show.
Okay.
Got to check it out.
Okay.
True Detective,
Yeah.
of course, blew everyone's mind. And now I think there's sort of that anything gets too big, there's that pushback and the fallout. And then
I don't think you even have to get that big anymore. I'm pretty sure there's pushback for everything these days.
But I know there's a lot of people just kind of down on certain aspects of it, and I kind of get it. I don't think that the ending really nailed it for me.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people. But overall, that show was really engrossing. I think it was kind of a wake-up call and a game changer for pushing the what do you call it? The
kind of crime procedural type of stuff, or
now I'm losing track of the word, but
okay,
when they
cake taco
flashbacks,
cake taco,
Okay,
yeah. So I think they're going to be doing a lot more anthology series.
That's the new meet cute is the cake taco.
yeah.
When the two people meet, right? You know.
because we all know that Russ Cole was the taco.
Sure,
And Marty Hart was the cake.
Yeah.
It was the cake.
Yeah.
You know,
A beautiful piece of cake. And
Cake taco.
But this anthology series where they're gonna be able to pick up, it's all kind of in the same universe, but it's just a new season, new story each season.
Okay.
I like that idea. New cast.
I've enjoyed that with American Horror Story.
American Horror Story.
I watched season 3. I mean, like, I won't go out of my way to watch American Horror Story, but when it comes on Netflix, I'll just run through the entire season. And Coven was good. I liked it.
Fargo's gonna be doing that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not really doing numbers,
2?
but I'll say 4. Game of Thrones.
Right.
Game of Thrones, dude. Come on, there's a shit ton of stuff that happened.
Have you seen this latest season?
I haven't watched any of Game
Okay, good.
of Thrones.
That means we could just say everything in front of it. No,
No, I don't care. You can, I'm okay with spoilers. I don't care.
I wouldn't do that just to the audience who hasn't seen it. But yeah, this, like, Game of Thrones is one of those shows where I keep going like, how the fuck are they going to top that shit? And
I mean, there was
like,
beauty,
wow.
there was romance, there was some lovely weddings that they had this
Sure,
season.
yeah, they were all
And then
worked
there were
out
these
great.
lows. There was these there was a lot of death and murder and destruction and
Some
dragons
optometry. I mean, a little bit of,
dragons and zombies and stuff. And we haven't even really gotten to a lot of the pirate ship captain stuff that I'm anticipating.
do what now? Do what? All right.
Yar.
Okay.
Next season's gonna be rated.
Rated Yar.
Yar.
Wait. What was it gonna? Oh, you know what? I only have one problem with Game of Thrones.
Okay.
All right. Who's that fat dude on the wall that's in love with that dumb girl in the village with her kid?
Sam Tarly.
Yeah. Get them the fuck out of that story. Like, it's like, I love every part of Game of Thrones except when that dude shows up and I'm just like, oh my God, fucking this. Like, it's like watching some kind of horrible medieval soap opera in the middle. Like,
It's kind of terribly
yeah, I get it.
translated in there.
Yeah, you can't fight. You're terrible. And you read books. Great. And you're in love with the villager. Woo! Can we get back to stabbing and the
But
shooting?
I suspect it's going somewhere.
I hope so. And hey, you know what? I'll say this is I always get really squirrely when nobody will say anything bad about a franchise. I could also say that of Game of Thrones, okay, my 3 least favorite parts of Game of Thrones are that dude, and then up until very recently, anytime they flash back to the wall, I was just like, oh my fucking God, this Jon Snow bullshit.
And interesting now, huh?
And Bram and Hodor and all them, like, nothing is happening with them. Like, the one thing happened. Like, every time they flash back to them, all they're doing is walking around having conversations.
Yeah.
And then, like, finally at the end of this season, one
Aaron
thing
Sorkin
happened.
direct those episodes?
Yeah, God, I hope. Did you get to see that? Hodor walking down the West Wing with Bram in a suit.
Well, this might be spoiler. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're seeing him next season.
Okay.
Bran, that thing.
Okay.
So-
good. Great. Wonderful.
Yeah, it'll give us a bit of a reprieve.
I love it.
And allow him to continue his really awkward adolescence.
Put way more Mayor Carcetti and Hot Topic
kid's nose.
Sansa, man. Like, I'm ready for that story to happen.
Man, he his nose Adrian Brody'd off of his face before the rest of him could grow up.
Who? Oh, Bran. Oh,
Bran?
yeah.
He's just like, I'm like, whoa, Beaky. The rest of your face to catch up.
Okay, enough of that. Number 1.
Number 1 is going to The Leftovers.
Real. Oh, man. Shit. Yep. Okay.
I have a thing for this guy, Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
I do.
I'm a fan.
You like
I'm a fan.
You like that
Yeah.
show Lost that he did that one time?
That's a good one.
You like Prometheus is your favorite movie of all
I
time?
liked it the first time I saw it. It's the second time I went, what was I thinking? But
Kinda like
Lost
what-
still holds up.
Lost still holds up?
I still think Lost
I
holds
think
up.
all but the last season holds up.
Yes.
I really like the 6th season the first time I watched Lost, but then every
the
time I
6th season is kind of a mess.
Yeah.
That whole temple and all that shit.
Yeah.
But there's aspects of it I rationalize out and like a lot still. I agree. It's a mess.
Boy, Leftovers just...
Did you watch all the way through?
No, I watched like the first 3 episodes and then was just like, I don't understand where you're going, and I don't care about anybody in
Did
here.
you like that 3rd episode?
I think
gambling thing with
that was the one where
the doctor,
I fell
doctor
asleep
or
and
whatever?
watched it out of order, and then I was really confused about what happened because it already goes all over the place. But I started watching it, and then I fell asleep.
Oh, that's right. You really fucked
And
yourself on that one.
But like when I started watching it, somehow I started watching it like halfway through. Like I was using my parents' HBO Go account, so I don't know if somebody had already watched half of it. So when I started it up, it like started halfway in, and I was sleepy, and I was watching it, and I was like, all right. And then I woke up, and then something was happening, and then I started it over, and I was like, wait, this isn't the beginning. And I was like, God, fuck this show,
See, here's
man.
what I did, John. I told Jeff, I said, watch the third episode. If the third episode doesn't hook you, then it's probably just not the show for you.
Yeah.
And he goes and fucks up watching the third episode. So now I have no gauge of whether or not he'd even like this.
I'll say this is the only time in my life that I've ever messed up watching a 45-minute TV show. And I don't know how I did it, but like, terrible.
Yeah,
but
so
I mean,
maybe you'd like it. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Like, you have kind of got your pick of grindingly depressing television shows on TV right now.
I think this one infuses mystery and intrigue and actually delicately handles those heavier, like, coping with death and tragedy moments than most shows.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe I'll go back and watch it when there's like 4 seasons. I mean, I still haven't watched The Walking Dead, so
Yeah.
what's wrong with me?
I give a special shout out to the Nick, Hannibal, Silicon Valley, Veep, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, my people at Walking Dead,
Yeah.
Madman, and Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
I think those are also great.
Okay.
But my top 5 was my top five.
What did you think of the final season of Boardwalk Empire?
I didn't finish it yet.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay. I thought
It
there was
just kind of sat there, and I went, I don't know. I
I
didn't
thought it
like
was
that first episode.
way too much flashback because they keep doing that through the entire thing, and it's like, I don't need. You guys don't need to do Godfather 2 now.
Yeah.
Like you could have done that in season 3 or something like that.
Do you guys
but
know what we like about this show?
yeah,
It's the crime part, not the walk through memories past.
it's Michael Shannon making that one face just the entire
Being really fucking angry and burning people with a hot iron.
That's
all
right.
I want.
That's right. Well, John, tell me, do you have any other notable things in 2014? Wait a minute, you're on a comic book podcast.
Yeah.
You tell us the top 5 comic books, new comic
See,
books.
I don't
in
even do top
2014?
5
No?
of that stuff. I usually
you
do
want
like
to list some stuff that's good. I
I was
mean,
going to do top 105.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
no,
all
I mean,
right.
like there was a good horror comic, Spread. It hasn't been collected yet, but it's really good. It's kind of think of John Carpenter's The Thing,
okay.
except The Thing won and is taken over and has sent the world into the apocalypse, and it's a group of people surviving in that.
Are we rooting for the people or the?
We're rooting
spread?
for the people, obviously,
Oh.
but I mean, it's really good. Nail Biter, which is kind of a cop looking for a serial killer that eats the flesh of his victims and things like that, like a cannibal serial killer.
Everybody won't. I mean, Jason will not stop saying he at least once every time I talk to him, he mentioned Sex Criminals. To
Sex
me,
Criminals
so.
is actually pretty awesome.
Did that start this year?
Yes, I think it did.
Okay, all
What
right.
is the premise of Sex Criminals?
So, Sex Criminals is essentially a couple, a guy and a girl get together in a relationship, and before they're in their relationship, they both discover on their own that they each have this power that when they have sex, time stops. And just legitimately, all time stops, but they're able to move around.
Just them individually.
Yeah,
Their partner doesn't.
Correct. Now, when they find out that when they have sex together, that they both stay. That time stops, and so they decide. Well, we stop time. What can we do? Let's go rob banks. And they become kind of criminals. They're trying to rob banks for a reason, so there's a just cause behind it. And then some basically sex police. It turns out that they're not the only ones that have these abilities. That there are others, and they police themselves so that no one in the world finds out about these types of people with these abilities. It's really funny. It's really well drawn. It's really good.
If somebody laid that concept on me, I think I'm still just kind of go, well, I don't know. But so many people that I know have just been like, no, you have to go read this. This is freaking incredible.
Jeff
It's
and I
really
have that
good.
ability as well, though. I mean, it's not time stopping,
Yeah.
but we cry a lot when we have sex together.
That's true. That's true. It's like a superpower. I have just sponges everywhere, entire house. Okay, well, let's see. Before we wrap up, we move into the future. Anything else anybody wants to bring up, especially liked or disliked about 2014?
Flash was really good. The TV show.
The TV show Flash.
Yeah,
Flash
that's
was really
really,
fun.
really good.
Yeah,
stopped
surprisingly,
watching it. So
really,
happy.
really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So happy about that.
People sure bitched a lot about everything in 2014.
I don't
Well,
think
that's
gonna,
all the time.
I don't think that's going to change.
You
I
don't
think
think
that's
so?
going to change.
I feel like it's just like I don't know. I've mentioned this before. I think it's growing pains of the internet that like that we're still we're getting a media that now everyone is part of the media online.
Yeah.
And they're all so competitive that they're all just putting the most sensationalist titles out there.
Yep.
And this in turn makes everyone just see the cream of the crop top, like most outrageous titles and get upset about it. And more, it's just outburst after outburst, and no one can stay mad at one thing because there's another thing to be mad at.
I think that
I'm just getting fatigue.
I find it.
You're getting hate fatigue?
Yeah, it's just like, quit bitching about everything. Life's okay.
I feel like there's going to be a day on my Facebook feed when there's like something legitimately fucked up happens in this world, but the news
tortured people.
The news. Well, no.
That's like a blip.
No, I'm not saying that nothing that we are living in a world where nothing legitimately bad has ever happened, but something that's like life threatening to my life is going to come rolling across my Facebook feed. It's going to be sponsored by Answers.com, and I'm just going to be like, nope, I don't
fucking Answers.com.
No, I'm not clicking through 7 pages to find out what's going to kill me in 5 minutes. I'll just sit here and die, motherfucker. Like,
yeah, I'm done with you.
That's right.
Answers.com pisses me off. I've tried to remove them from my Facebook, like hide their ads.
Yeah.
And then like I get ads from them that are like by partner sites.
They stealth in like under
it's
other
like
websites.
Answers.com. TrueAnswers.com.
Right.
More answers. Like, God damn it, how many times do I gotta hide your fucking ads?
Was 2014 the year where we all got over BuzzFeed, where BuzzFeed came and then we were all just like, fuck you, BuzzFeed, with your fucking bullshit.
I got a couple friends that Clickhole is everywhere now.
Oh, Clickhole.
Yep. I don't really get it. I don't really quite understand.
It's like a lighthearted Onion.
Oh no, I know what it is. I just don't understand why anybody would fucking read it. Like,
I don't know, but I see it everywhere now.
Isn't Clickhole a subsidiary of the Onion?
Yeah,
that makes
I believe
sense.
so. No, it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up though, because I have. They just put Friends on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Perfect background noise, like a show when I was a teenager that was on TV and everybody liked it. And I hated it because I was a teenager, but then when my 20s went back and watched it, it was fine. And I watch it now, and it is amazing. That show looks like it was made in fucking 1980 now. Like, nobody has a cell phone. Nobody has a computer. Like, they all have regular landline phones. Like I watched all through.
Rent somehow was ridiculously cheap in New York City.
Yeah,
a giant apartment.
Yeah, I mean, like they're all drinking coffee like it's some brand new thing that happened, right? And I realized that I watched Friends like 5 to 7 years ago, and it wasn't that much of a culture shock difference, right?
Yeah.
But between now and when that show came out, especially the first couple seasons, which I believe came out in like the late 80s, right? It's just insane.
I want to say it was 90s.
Was it 90s?
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
Maybe
I'll look it up.
96 or something.
Yeah, I don't.
They started near the end of Seinfeld.
Yeah, because it was very clearly 90s when that show.
But like every single thing that they wear, every single haircut they have, 94. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Like the slang, the stuff they do.
They're all
into
swing dance and wearing zoot suits.
The thing, it's like that, right? But you just go, it's weird. Someday, I mean, anybody like that's 2014. One of the things that happened to me in 2014 was I just had to come to grips with the fact that it's like, yeah, that still feels like relevant to me. But then I look around, I realize that it has no bearing on modern life. Like as a hey, we're just a bunch of
I get that same feeling when I watch Mad Men.
Really? Shut up, John. But it's insane, like the way that, you know, nobody, like they have whole episodes where people don't know stuff, and it's like, well, just look it up on the internet. Oh, right, it was 1994.
None of these conflicts exist anymore because if we have an argument, we check Wikipedia and we're back to being friends in 10 seconds.
Right. I mean, the whole part of the whole show is structured around them hanging around in their apartments, waiting for people to call them. There's an episode I was watching. They're playing poker, right? And Rachel is waiting for a phone call so she won't let Joey use the phone to order a pizza because. And I'm just like, oh, right, the dark ages when I was a teenager.
What is this bullshit?
It's weird. It's weird just how dated it looks now. Just like every part of that show looks super dated now, and it didn't to me 5-6 years ago. But let's see.
That show started haircut trends.
Yeah, it did.
It was a big deal.
It was huge.
Oh, you have the Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
Rachel haircut? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
You had the Jennifer Aniston.
I had the Rachel, yeah.
Well, we got a few more minutes before we're going to take a break because we're going to cut this first part a little bit short. But I wanted to ask, okay, so I don't have any good New Year's stories, right? Because for whatever reason, there wasn't a bottle of lighter fluid around for me to drink, and so I ended up having a very reasonable night and going home at like 4 o'clock in the morning and not killing anybody or myself or anything.
Burn your thumb or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I did light a sparkler, and then I didn't realize that it went all the way down to the bottom, and I've got a big blister on my thumb. But other than that, I mean, that's the worst thing that happened.
All right.
That's garbage compared to New Year's.
Yeah, to what you're used to.
Right.
You didn't get obliterated and maybe kill a kid driving home, but you're not sure.
Yeah, I don't.
What happened?
Yeah, I didn't do any part of that. Last year, like I said, I dropped a half full, like the big bottle of Jägermeister, and it just green glass and Jägermeister everywhere in this person's kitchen. It was horrible. It was like an apocalypse.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I was pretty responsible this year. The most exciting thing that happened was that when I was driving to the party I was going to for New Year's, there was a little dog running down the street, like in the middle of the street right here on Lamar, right by your place.
Yeah.
It was running southbound on there, and like all this traffic had to just navigate out of the way, and like people kept trying to like open their doors and get the dog in, like go in their car.
Right.
I guess a bunch of dog thieves.
Right.
But yeah, the dog just kept going, and it was just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Woo, exciting!
That's
2014. Goodbye,
John.
I literally split my time between two different parties.
Yeah.
I went one friend's New Year's party, played Rock Band for a while, left to go to another friend's party where I saw you.
Yeah.
And then had long conversations with Matt Frank, and then left that party to go back to the other party to play Cards Against Humanity.
Right.
It was pretty boring.
I'm disappointed.
We're getting old, guys.
He's not old.
yeah, well,
I'm the oldest one here.
Okay, I think I'm the only one in this room with gray hair.
do you guys want to do some cocaine on the break?
Is that what we're gonna
No.
do?
How about we do some cocaine?
2015 rampant drug use. All
We
right.
gotta do it.
All right, patrons, we're really going to need you to step up. If we're all going to develop hardcore coke habits, we're really going to need more donations.
I didn't sign on for this.
It's mandatory, man. It's part of Rage Slide. So, yeah, I guess.
I'm not a cocaine princess.
So you would like a shot of tequila. That's what you're saying. I understand.
No,
I understand. We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah. Cocaine tequila.
Yeah. You're just blowing my mind here, Grant. You're a good idea machine. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break, and we're going to actually back half the show. I'm going to pick out a whole bunch of emails, so it's going to be an email-heavy show today in 2015. mail@rageselect.com is the email address, and I'd like to just take a quick moment to say, please don't wait for me to put a thing on Facebook saying, hey, send in your questions, because I've done that for the last couple weeks, and now if I don't do it, we get like 2 questions. So,
And while we're at it, talking directly to the audience right now,
yeah.
don't forget to go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Also, go to Stitcher, give us a 5-star rating. And
Yeah.
write a little review. Helps
Yeah.
the show out. And, yeah, you can do that during this break while we're going to go do some cooking.
All right.
They're going to do that.
All right, everybody, we're back. Grant, you threw me off, man. like, Grant, are you ready? And then he just totally derailed me. But we're back, and we're having an extra long question segment this week. mail@rageselect.com is the email address. It's mail@rageselect.com.
Get your questions in now. We might get to them by the end of the show.
Who
Maybe.
knows?
Yeah. Well, no, this isn't live, though. This is like...
It's not?
No.
What are we doing here?
We're okay. All right. Our first question comes in from Matt, and Matt says, "Hello, Jeff and the gang." I like that. It's like Cool in the Gang, except I'm cool.
We're the gang.
As someone who doesn't play video games, but doesn't miss an episode of Rage Selected as a proud patron, what do you see as the future of this medium? I don't have any shows I really watch as must watch on TV, but your show is an appointment watching for the family every day. Oh my God, you watch this with your fucking family?
What the fuck? Fuck.
Yeah, shit, fuck. To the point where I recovered from a tooth pull watching the entire playthrough of Bulletstorm in one sitting. Wow. Do you think the niche you are building will develop more as people tune out of regular old-fashioned entertainment? Please keep raging on, and all hail our mighty Dong Lord, Matt. What do you guys think here?
What's the shelf life on this?
I don't know, man. I kind
Future of gaming?
of Let's Play shows, essentially.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I mean, I think that right now they're definitely on a roll, right?
Yeah.
The fact that we're able to keep this shit rolling on is.
I mean, shit, it's on South Park.
Incredible, right?
True.
I think that I don't know. I think that there's something. I think that when you look at the way that Let's Plays and Twitch streaming and stuff like that has grown, that you've just seen that unlike your traditional forms of entertainment, that the public at large really is interested in interactive entertainment. I mean, I honestly think that like the rise of Let's Plays and live shows and stuff like that have kind of in some ways supplanted the itch that was originally scratched with like those bullshit reality TV shows where you could like text in. Fucking
So you're saying Let's Plays are the next generation of reality TV?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Easy to produce, interactive in a way that people can get involved with it. I think that. I also think there's something really interesting about the commonality there with the fact that you're watching us play a video game that you yourself can go play. So it's not like when you're watching True Detective that you're going to go become a stupid metaphysical alcoholic who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I thought that's what you did.
Well, it's apples and oranges, man. I mean, I don't solve crimes, right? I'm more on the making crime side of things.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I mean, do either one of you guys watch any Let's Play shows?
No.
I know that I don't because I'm really worried about crypto memory, but that's.
I mean, I my girlfriend watches Game Grumps.
Okay.
So I've watched that, but most of the stuff that I watch is not so much Let's Plays and just people like analyzing games. Or doing like quick things, like Angry Video Game Nerd or JonTron or what is it?
So I'm watching one called Game Theory.
Game Theory is another good one.
That's
you guys
pretty
have
good.
heard of that PewDiePie?
Yes.
No.
Grant.
I don't know. I also watch what is it? Oh god damn it! What the hell is that channel called? Yeah, I don't know.
Can you tell me anything about it? Literally anything?
It looks at like. Did you know gaming?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like that stuff. I like that stuff. So
okay. I mean, I don't know. I think that what you're seeing. I mean, especially with the fact that you could probably make a case for the fact that. I mean, PewDiePie is at the top, right, of the Let's Play stuff, and some people say that part of that is because of the Game Theory actually did a show about the way that the countries that he was broadcasting from and jumping around got him a higher ranking in the audiences for each one of those individual countries, as well as following in the United States. But like that guy, the amount of money that he makes is like he's like a fucking TV star. I mean, there's probably TV stars that don't make as much as he do. He makes something like $4.5 million a year or something doing this.
Where's our money, Jeff?
I don't know, Grant.
Here's what I do think, though. I mean,
you think I got it all under my mattress? Is that
do you? I'm gonna go in there right now.
Fucking money. It just seems like there's a lot of people doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. What I would say differentiates Rage Select is that it's more personality driven than it seems to be so reliant on the gaming experience. I mean, I know in certain aspects we want to make sure that we're displaying the game.
Right.
I think people keep coming back because they bond with us in a way.
Sure, I can see that.
It's like watching a video game with your friends, which is a common theme I seem to find on a lot of the podcasts we seem to do.
Yeah.
That people get a community feel to it. Like you're saying, interactive.
Or that, I mean, it's. I guess it's weird.
I mean, plenty can go to see Let's Plays elsewhere for just information basis.
Sure. I mean, there's plenty of channels that don't even do commentary, that'll just record a game and then put up the gameplay.
There's a lot of Twitch channels like that, especially with the integration of Twitch on consoles.
Right. It's almost, I guess it just feels, maybe it's just a larger aspect of the social integration that we've seen with the internet and with Facebook, and the fact that people, I guess it would be different if somebody was doing a celebrity Twitch streams. Of course, that happens as well, though, right? But that people just feel like they have more, they're closer to those people rather than watching that show on television that you're very much separated from. I feel like there's a lot more connection points between you playing the same game or having an opinion about a franchise or comments.
There's a relatability.
Chat. Yeah.
Which, I mean, any kind of just open forum chat podcast or play through whatever system like that, you're going to be crossing over talking about pop culture, a lot of stuff that people can kind of relate to, and they're like, I get these people, I know them. I think as far as the idea, the question was about like what's the future, the longevity.
Right.
I think the strength of Rage Select, like I said, is its community.
Yeah.
Its fan base is very integrated with us. I mean, we talk back and forth. There doesn't seem to be such a hard barrier there.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, it's that we lean more toward entertainment, and I think entertainment can go in so many different directions.
Do you think the bottom's going to fall out? Is that going to be 2015, the year that it all came crashing to?
I think that we just need to continue to adapt and keep our eyes on what's successful and what isn't.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, it's funny because I think that at the beginning of 2014 was when we started things like the Super Awesome Video Game Show and the Academy. I think a lot of that stuff happened.
Grant versus
Game in the first quarter of Jeff 2014. Jeff versus, yeah. The problem with Jeff versus beer is that if
beer wins,
yeah,
it encourages your alcoholic tendencies.
No, I don't need any encouragement for my alcoholic tendencies.
Oh, okay.
It's that if I happen to get 6 beers in the wrong frame of mind, then what I come out with is just like, it's like going to a bar with somebody who's really unhappy, and then you're just like listening to, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, rough. Man. Like, I mean, the last time that I tried to record a Jeff versus beer, I like to watch some TV while I'm, and it used to be that when I first started doing Jeff versus beer, I'd watch House, and it was like easygoing House, right? Whatever, he's snarky. Then the last time I tried to do Jeff versus beer, I watched 2 episodes of Black Mirror, and I was just like,
what is wrong with you?
No one will ever see these videos. I'm just like, I don't know what it is, man. I just... especially the second episode of the first season of Black Mirror that's about fame and video game culture, and I was just like, what are you? Why are you even, like? I think I was actively telling people, unsubscribe, Great, delete this website. I'll delete it for you. I know you're not strong enough. I'm going to go delete my YouTube channel now.
So I take it back. The most destructive thing for Rage Select is going to be Drunk Jeff.
I'm going to say the future of Rage Select is Grant.
Is Drunk Grant?
No, not Drunk Grant. Just Grant.
Grant. He's taken over.
Your new overlord.
Christmas, we did make a deal, and he kept up his half of the bargain. So
right.
I have to
wait a second. You were going to tell him about my half of the bargain.
All right. Well, our next one comes in from Howard, who says, "Hey, whoever the fuck is on today." Good intro. What video game stories tend to get to you the most? For example, I prefer darker and edgier storylines like The Last of Us, which thoroughly fucked me up emotionally, as well as sprawling stories like Skyrim, where I essentially get to create kind of my own. Tell me what you like. Soft, light, and comical, or dark, edgy, and really depressing? Salud! And glory to the great Dong and his phallic knights, Howard. Does anybody, if you ask that question to any human being, are they just going to be like, I like shit that doesn't matter a lot, or the characters are just one-dimensional tropes, and like everybody's happy at the end?
I knew you in high school, Jeff. I knew that girl. I just like having fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think character development is very important. I think we're seeing it a lot more in video games than, I mean, it used to be that you are the character, and so it could be a little bit overlooked because, you can drive who you are and who you want to be.
Yeah.
Versus from what I've seen, a lot more of these games seem to be like helping you define either who you are, like Last of Us, as you kind of navigate through the story. And I think that's very important.
Okay. What do you think, John?
For me, I mean, I like everything. Like I like the dark, depressing stories, and I like the stuff. But I do tend to resonate a little bit more with the more lighthearted stuff, like Saints Row or Sunset Overdrive, or stuff where it's really fucking crazy and out there,
right?
But you're still putting your own like spin on it, but it's still like lighthearted in the fact that you're just being crazy in these games. So.
I think that for me, I like anything that has the tone doesn't matter so much as the depth of the world matters.
Yeah, I get that.
That it's more about the trappings of the world and how fleshed out it is, because the more fleshed out it is, the more immersed I feel in it, which is why Skyrim is great, right? Because it's so huge and there's so much shit going on in there.
If you fully invest in, like, even if it's a silly game,
yeah.
if you the developer took it really seriously, I mean, I think
well, like Saints Row is, like you said, is a perfect example of a game that doesn't take itself seriously at all, but it's got enough to its world. It's at least internally consistent, and
it's and on top of that, they do have character development, even for a character that's supposed to be the faceless. You're supposed to create yourself or your own character, and
right.
And there's still that level of development with that character in that game.
I mean, I could say that there were at least just about every time in Saints Row 4 where they used one of the soundtrack songs to accentuate a thing happening. Like at the very beginning, you're climbing up the rocket, and they're playing the Aerosmith song from fucking Armageddon, and there's a few other places in there where they use there's a weird, very weird strip club dance number, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a place where they use the touch for the Transformers soundtrack to great effect. Every time that they manage to do that, like I don't know how Saints Row outside of Saints Row is oh god, I'm trying maybe Brutal Legend. I'm trying to think of other games that are able to use that
musical cues, and
right?
like an emotional moment.
But like songs that right? Songs that they
Brutal Legend is a good example.
What's that?
You said Brutal Legend is a good example of that,
right? But I'm trying to think of like
Far Cry with the helicopter thing. You were pointing out the musical. cue there.
Long Tall Sally in Blood Dragon. There's there were two of those, right?
No, the most recent one. Most recent Far Cry.
Oh, with Should I Stay or Should I Go, when they introduce pagan men. Like that, it makes an instant impression upon you. And I think that's really smart because they take that, and then I think it's why they keep making those trailers where they do a cover of a song over the trailer. Gears of War, I think, started it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a few places. I know in 2000, not last year, but in 2013, Blood Dragon, and there was another game that started off with the helicopter where Long Tall Sally was playing in it.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was. But that stuff is great because it instantly calls up a bunch of emotions in your head that are connected to other things and really puts it together in there. Like just your character and the dude in Saints Row 4 singing Opposites Attract as you drive down the highway really poorly was like just a wonderful little moment. So yeah, I think that stuff, I guess that's kind of a little bit off topic from the thing.
Punctuated video games with like these grandiose cinematic moments.
I guess
really helps.
For me, it's just, like I said, it's the world for me. It's less the characters and more to make sure that the world that you're in feels like an actual place and not just an arbitrary level, that it feels alive. And I think that's one of the reasons that when I went back and I played like GTA 5 or even the re-release of Sleeping Dogs, why those worlds feel so good is because they feel like worlds. But the same thing could even be said of Skyrim, of Dark Souls. I love it in a world where it feels like other things are happening that are not just your character because it makes it feel more like a world. Mm-hmm. And Last of Us, does that well as well.
Red Dead.
Rockstar's really good at it.
Yeah, Rockstar is really good at that.
All right, next up, we've got one from Russ. Russ says, hey, guys, one of your Aussie listeners writing in again. Yes, you do have Aussie listeners down here. Amazing, right? When thinking up characters for a fictional media, what are the tropes of a villain you both hate and love to see recurring throughout fiction? Do you like them sympathetic, maybe? Or do you maybe take a shine to villains who are evil and destructive and rarely even see the hero through the majority of the story? What are your personal taste in villains? Always worry my questions are hard to read out loud. Thanks, Russ. He didn't. Russ, next time you maybe praise the mighty Doncles a little bit there towards the end. I mean, we got a little theme here going on. So
now, are we gonna?
No, don't.
No,
don't
no,
even. Don't. No.
That was bad.
No.
British Cockney.
No, that was Australian. See how I said it?
No.
Okay.
I literally hear no difference in the way you're talking. I was just telling you to shut up.
I hate when there's cartoonish villains that don't seem to match the rest of the tone.
Really?
Like Jigsaw and Punisher, or
I thought you meant in Saw.
Yeah. No, thought that too for a second.
I meant
but
Jigsaw and Punisher.
the
but
Punisher War
I
Journal.
guess
or-
Saw kind of works as well.
Wait.
He's a little over the top.
What was he in Warzone?
Yeah, Warzone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when Dominic West is playing him.
I've seen that movie. I started watching that movie twice, and I can't get past the place where he's upside down, twirling around, shooting a bunch of guys, and just go, nope.
Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face in whatever the fuck Batman Forever.
Okay, but you're
When
pointing
they're
out,
like just like they're over the top in a way that like they think they're matching everything, and they're not. They're not in the same.
All right,
realm.
so when you say that, which of the Schumacher villains is really great? Then so
Jim Carrey's excellent as
Jim
Riddler.
Carrey's Riddler.
I fucking love him as Riddler. He is appropriate for who he's playing. Tommy Lee Jones is trying to channel Jim Carrey's energy, it seems, and it was just like all wrong.
So you're saying that you're totally all right with Arnold's Mr. Freeze, with all the ice puns?
There's parts of it that are endearing.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you. I'm challenging you, but like
but I think by that point it was like I feel that it was really cemented that Schumacher was just fucking with us and he was having fun with it.
I felt like Schumacher was trying to make a modern day '60s Batman.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Even with Batman Forever, and he was just remaking because that's all the villains acted exactly like the villains from the '60s Batman.
Yeah.
But I mean, Forever, I felt like for the most part he was still trying to keep the Michael Keaton Batman aspect, like keep him pretty serious with everything. I mean, he's pulling out a credit card in the fourth one, Batman and Robin. It was just like. And bad ice skates and all that. It was just it was a mockery.
I love the way this question is just like, tell me about the tropes of villains, and that's totally devolved into Schumacher Batman.
Tropes and villains in video games,
right?
And we've gotten into Schumacher Batman.
Oh, did you say video games?
No.
Oh no, we didn't.
No, it's not even video games.
Okay, I thought you were just talking about video games. Okay, I'm the asshole.
What are you guys not liking?
I guess let's see. The thing is that I can get behind a two-dimensional villain in some cases. Like I was thinking about what's the Shakespeare one with Kenneth Branagh in it? Yeah, I know. Where Keanu, Much Ado About Nothing, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
His character is just shitty. No reason, just shitty.
Just like archetypal,
Just
evil.
I hate you guys, like
for no reason. Yeah.
Right. And he's all right. Like it kind of depends on the story that you're telling, right? Is that like one of the things that I felt was lacking last year in Guardians was I would have liked to known a little bit more about Ronan the Accuser because he just kind of came out and twirled his hammer,
Yeah, right?
I guess, right?
Just like I'm angry, but I don't have a backstory to justify my anger.
I hate those guys. I'm going to murder all of them. And it's like, why?
Yeah. Do we miss part of that? What's going on there? I mean, you at least get a little bit of. No, I mean, it's kind of similar to Darth Vader in the first one.
I guess
is he such a bad guy? I guess he's just a puppet.
Well, they got prequels to tell you why he's a bad guy.
they really did. I won't go into that.
Yeah, he's emo.
Yeah.
That's why he's destroying the universe and building giant death lasers
He's a
planets.
bitch.
He never had
Yeah.
a father.
That's right. I'm Space Jesus, and I hate
It's all about
younglings.
daddy issues.
He's a child murderer, right? Like,
Okay, the villain that is like has the extreme master plan,
Yeah.
and is always like 5 steps ahead of the good guys.
yeah, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Okay, perfect example.
Yeah.
Skyfall, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
Where he plans everything to get kidnapped so that he can escape.
sure. No
I mean,
Country
I
for
know
Old Bond.
Loki, they kind of mentioned this too, but I think I've read some good theories that might be part of his bigger end game.
Well, what's interesting about Loki is that Loki's powers kind of specifically move in that direction as a schemer.
Like he would want to get kidnapped so that he could try and fuck with other people.
Well, plus he even has. I mean, they even established. They don't really go into it very much, but like in Avengers, when he's like, they've established that part of his power set is like tricking you, right?
Yeah.
About being in places where he's
the
not,
god of trickery.
right? Exactly. So that makes a little bit more sense than like I've always kind of taken a little bit of issue with, like, when you step back from Dark Knight and look at the Joker's plan, like, that's some specific ass shit that
like,
went down.
For you being an agent of chaos, you are sure organized and orderly in order to pull off any of that shit.
Are you saying that you don't like it when villains have that?
I don't.
When the villain has read the script, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, like, the train that comes out in Skyfall
Right.
at perfectly timed, it's like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, bullshit. Bullshit. All of that. Everything leading up to that, fuck that. No.
Right.
Terrible.
John, what do you think?
You know, I can kind of agree with him on that. That's a trope that's a little bit annoying. I didn't like my villains somewhat on some level justified in their actions.
Okay.
You know, basically the Magneto, where, you know, you can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But I do like characters that are just, you know, they're villains because they're crazy or whatever, like going to Far Cry 3, Vaz. I really liked him as a character, as a villain. It sucks that, you know, he's not the big villain of the game, as it turns out. But,
yeah, well, that's Buck, right?
Yeah. But, you know, I really, you know, but, you know, he's this crazy guy that there is a little, if you read the underlines of it, there may be some sympathy for him, even though he's still crazy. And it's like, no, there may have been a time when sympathy may have been there, you know, for the character, could have been there, but he's way past that now. Like, I totally like that when you can see the villain and go, at one point there was a guy with a mission, a guy with a cause.
Right.
But he's so far past that, he's just fucking evil now.
You know, I feel like I really want you to play Far Cry 4 because I feel like Pagan Min's character is even more nuanced than that and interesting. Even though he doesn't show up but a few times in the game, I think it's just incredibly fascinating, especially when, like, the problem is I can't talk about it without spoiling what happens at the end of the game. But, like, when you really get down to who that dude is and what he's about, it really just changes, like, everything about the game in a really interesting way.
Charm. A villain that's charming and that ends up, he starts off bad and then wins you over eventually.
Yeah.
I think like Hannibal Lecter, he can kind of, in a way, becomes like an anti-hero or whatever.
You know what villain I really liked?
Linus?
Benjamin Linus is a good one.
I put two Lost fans together on this couch.
But no, one that I really liked, Mission Impossible 3.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Fucking awesome villain.
Very charismatic. I mean, super charismatic.
Yeah.
Just, you know, that scene where Tom Cruise dangles him out of the plane, trying to, you know, where are they doing his Batman thing? Well, that was after, but then he's just like, oh, okay, you told me something. Great.
In Game of Thrones, there's a ton of villains that you end up rooting for. I mean, like,
Mayor Carcetti.
Jaime Lannister starts off committing a terrible, heinous crime, and then you end up winning. A lot of people end up rooting for the guy.
I don't understand that. He pushed that fucking kid out. He tried to murder a kid to cover up his incest relationship. Like, I don't care.
You still. No. How can you still hold a grudge?
It's easy. It's called. I just go back to season 1 and watch when he pushed a kid out a window to try to murder him.
He stuck up for Brienne, though.
Yeah,
he was a bad guy, and he's trying to make amends. He's getting better.
Great, and then later on,
the Stark family is doing fine.
Yeah, it's like he stuck up for Brienne, and then let's see, 2 episodes later, then that happened.
Okay, what about the Hound? You like the Hound? Did he start winning you over?
I think the Hound is a very interesting character.
Yeah,
and I don't think the Hound. I don't see the thing. Okay, I guess the difference between Jaime Lannister and the Hound, right?
The Hound is an arm.
Is that Jaime Lannister wants people to like him. The Hound don't give a fuck. The Hound's like, this is a brutish, ugly, evil fucking world, and my face got fucked up by my brother when I was like 7 years old. Fuck all you people. I'm going to kill and take what I want to because that's the rule. And the more you watch Game of Thrones, the more you're like, he's right. A lot of the time.
He's kind of operating in the proper way here.
Right. And so, yeah, I like the Hound in a lot of different ways.
But you start off not liking him because he kills the little kid.
Yeah.
He kills the little kid, too.
Which little kid did he kill?
The baker boy.
Oh, right.
Arya's buddy.
Yeah.
But we didn't have as much investment because we didn't really know the kid.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I also really like. I've said this before. I think this question came up a long time ago. I love a series that has very serious bad guys. I think that Game of Thrones actually does this very well, where when shit starts happening with the bad guys, like the whole landscape changes based on their actions, right? And they keep doing stuff. And my example for this has always been Scorpius over on Farscape.
Yeah.
Is that every time, I mean, have you watched Farscape?
No.
You have,
yes,
right?
I have.
So every time the crew of Farscape, they run into Scorpius, like something gets dramatically fucked up that takes like half a season to fix, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why, as much as I don't like Peter Dalish, I just call him Merrick Harketti on Game of Thrones, like, after this last season, it's like whenever that dude shows up, I'm just like, oh, dude, don't get close to him. Don't you stand next to him.
He was in that show, too?
Yeah?
No. Well,
what are you talking?
what?
Wait.
No.
On Game of Thrones.
Gotcha.
On Game of
For some
Thrones.
reason, I was thinking he was also the character there, too.
Right. It's like, yeah, don't get anywhere near that motherfucker, right?
Yeah, he's saying he's one of those type of villains.
He's one of the most dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unassuming.
I still like Braun, but he's not really a bad guy.
He's just a lovable asshole.
Yeah.
He's like Jason.
I really liked in the last season when he gave his little speech. That he wasn't very much in that last season, but when he gives a speech about why he's not going to do the thing, and it's just like, yeah, man, like that makes perfect sense. All right, this next one comes in from Drew, and he says, "Dear Jeff and Grant and John, do you think that horror games have sacrificed atmosphere for gore? I didn't find The Evil Within as compelling as creepy old games like Silent Hill, which sacrifice graphic violence for disturbing story and characters. May Greedo's blessings be upon you, a Drew."
Sacrifice.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you used sacrifice a couple times in there.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was appropriate for a horror.
I don't even understand what you're saying. Is that a reference to something?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he's just saying sacrifice.
Okay.
So what do you think about this question? Jesus, I don't know.
Well, I was going to let you guys go first.
I agree.
I think it's not just video games, though. I think it's also like TV and movies and stuff as well.
If they're going for shocking violence over good storytelling,
Sure.
it's an easy grab.
Yeah.
And it's not a new thing. It's been going on since forever. I mean,
It's one of those things that I think kind of turns me off about a lot of horror games is that, I mean, The Evil Within, like at the beginning, they were so much shoving, like, you know, you get taken and then you're upside down with a bunch of corpses, guys chopping stuff up, and it's like that's such a quick thing. It's I guess why I don't really understand or why I don't really get as messed up by Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Because it's jump scares, which I kind of put in the same category as gore. It's a cheap, easy way to flip your buttons.
It's like it's too quickly jarring for you to kind of process and have the certain emotional investment to have something actually become truly scary.
Yeah.
I think you have to take time and finesse that. It's an art.
Yeah.
And there's some people that do it really well, and there's others that think, oh, yeah, just put a bunch of blood in there and then occasionally show some tits, and you got a nice horror movie. Boom.
I think
and it makes money. They're not wrong.
I think Extra Credits actually did an episode on that recently that was really good, where they talked about the difference between horror where you quit watching it and then you go and do whatever, and horror when you quit watching it and it like sticks with you and you keep thinking about it, the stuff that your nightmares are made of, right? As opposed to just like, there's puppets in your face, right?
Exorcist.
Like,
7.
Yeah.
7 stuck with me for a long time.
the movie 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Akiba's Trip.
Well, I've said it before. I think that was one of the reasons that I liked the Babadook so much this year, was that it was less about shoving blood monsters in your face and more about this kind of weird, creepy tension of what's going on and people crazy or not crazy or things like that.
Well, it's like one of my favorite Del Toro movies, The Devil's Backbone.
Yeah,
that's
seen it.
It's a really the atmosphere in that movie is just so thick and suspenseful and horror that there's not any real gore. I mean, there is some, I guess, a little bit, but I mean, it's so toned down that it affects me. You know, I watch that movie and I stop and I'm totally like still thinking about that movie. Whereas I go watch, Saw, and I'm like, well, this is stupid.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's very exploitative. Yeah, I can still say that I think that Silent Hill 2 probably one of the better horror, probably the best horror game I've ever played. I'm trying to think. I mean, as far as psychologically disturbing, as opposed to just having a bunch of shit jump out and chainsaws and things like that. I mean, you know what? I could still say that it doesn't really scare me, but I'll always talk about the beginning of Resident Evil 4 when you had to barricade yourself into the like houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or there was a second scene in Silent Hill 4 where like you were in a house and you basically just boarded everything up, and then they started coming in, and then you slowly retreating up the stairs and stuff like that. And it was very tense. But there's a lot of horror games out there. I don't know. I've always felt like that horror game and movie fans have a very low bar for what they'll accept in that genre. And I don't know why. So
yeah. Well, it's a prolific genre, so you go through a couple stinkers, you're still gonna find some good ones there too.
Sure. Yeah.
What was the second part of that question where he's talking about the character?
Ooh, what's
With certified graphic violence, substituting that for disturbing story and characters.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's also what we addressed. I guess I was thinking it was the second part.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Okay. All right, next question.
Next question.
This one comes in from BHammer100, and he says, "Hello, prophets of the almighty Duncleys. BHammer100 here to ask you fine fellas a question about what is considered the greatest TV show ever made. Jeff and guests, what are your opinions on The Wire getting remastered in HD? And how do you feel about changing it from 4:3 to 16:9? I know that David Simon isn't a big fan of it. Jeff, I know you're a big fan of The Wire. Could you talk a little bit about why The Wire is so great? I've only seen 3 seasons so far, and the first 2 seasons were great, but I have put off watching the last 2 because I found season 3 to be boring as shit. But I hear season 4 is fan-fucking-tastic, so maybe when I get to Barnes & Noble, I'll pick it up. I just don't know what to think about The Wire so far. Keep up the great work, guys and gals, and make sure you give a fuck when it is your turn to give a fuck. BHammer100. All right, first off, has everybody seen The Wire here?
I have not, but it's okay.
Not seen The Wire?
Say what you need to
Yes.
say.
You have? Okay.
And Bammer, isn't it Bammer?
Bammer? I don't know.
Bad Bamma Jamma?
Is that? I don't know.
I think we can call him a Bammer Jammer.
I mean, I thought it was like Bandhammer, right?
Oh,
B-Hammer.
B-Hammer.
Right.
Okay.
What was season 3 the one with the kids?
No, season 4 is.
Okay, so
which is why season 4 is one of the best ones.
So what was season 1 was the cop, season 2 is the doc, season 3 is
the education system. Well, no, 4 is the education system. 3 is the government, political stuff with Carcutti.
Oh, I could see. I don't know. It's weird. It's like every season of The Wire to me is appealing for a different reason.
Well, I mean, I think the weakest one was the 5th season.
Yes.
Personally, but and part of that I think is that there was such a high with the 4th season, and part of that is that they have a little bit of a silly plot line with a particular police officer and some crime scenes that I just was like, what?
Well, it's so weird because David Simon was a reporter. You figured that season 5 would have been the closest. Like that, he could have written a really fantastic season 5, right?
Yeah.
But it was all just kind of bemoaning the death of newspapers, and
it really was.
It's all online now. Oh no, fucking Aaron Sorkin all over again. But Sorkin is a bitch about that. I just watched the last season of The Newsroom.
Oh man, is he belly aching like crazy?
That motherfucker needs to learn how to use the goddamn internet. I'm sorry, like you don't have to love the internet, but as somebody who's into like the news and shit, fucking.
Didn't he write the movie about Facebook?
Fucking Sorkin, man. I'm sure it was all, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Social Network, but anyway, I'm sorry.
No, it's all about people
how shitty everybody
not
is,
actually knowing how to interact with each other,
right?
Despite the social. So I've been watching The Wire in HD.
Oh yeah,
this past week.
Did it just come out? Wasn't even know that they.
It came out December 26th, the day after Christmas.
Oh okay. They put all of them out at the same time.
Yeah, I have HBO Go, so yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they released the Blu-rays or whatever. If they're gonna, I assume they will. But what they did is they already had everything shot where they didn't have to like enlarge anything. They just had the extra framing in order to convert it from 4:3 to 16 by 9.
So they shot it all originally in 16 by 9, and
yeah.
they just okay.
So this is basically like a Babylon 5 thing where it was originally shot 16 by 9, and then
and then they, because TVs, they cropped it in. So it actually looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I've had no problems with it. Part of what my concern was initially before I'd watched it was that I thought there's going to be some stylistic choices, like they wanted to frame something, and how they framed it in a 4:3 doesn't work when you kind of expand it. You lose some of the weight of that.
Right.
I have not noticed that to be an issue in any of the shots so far. It all looks really crisp. I'm not really sure what David Simon's issue is, except for that he approved the first one and maybe he didn't have oversight into the second one.
If you're familiar, I think that first season of The Wire I've seen it so many times that I feel like if they made any big changes that it would stick out. I don't know if just expanding the frame would be enough of a change to really change anything about it.
All the story works great, and now it looks perfect on my big screen TV. I'm really digging it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no issues there. I heard that when they adjusted Buffy to widescreen, they fucked up bad because whoever outsourced Buffy, they were having other people staff in the side shots. They're having the boom mics being showing, things would they wouldn't adjust for the proper lighting in the scenes where they had to have things look like they were nighttime, but instead it still looked like daytime lighting. So they whoever they outsourced it to just did a fucking shitty job with the whole thing.
Okay.
The Wire looks great. I can't recommend it enough, and now definitely that you can watch it in HD. One of my biggest gripes was that it was gritty looking and kind of cruddy.
Yeah.
4:3 format.
Do you? I mean, say I haven't seen it in HD, but do you think that? I mean, I guess you could kind of make a case of saying that some of that cruddy dirtiness kind of lends to the atmosphere of the story. Do you feel? Does it seem more does it seem weird because it's slicker now?
I don't know. I guess since I've already seen that other version, it's not an issue for me.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, now everything's a little bit clearer for me. But I would say when I first watched it, there is a little bit of character to the idea that you're talking about a modern police department post 9/11 in Baltimore that is still so poor that they're typing out their reports on typewriters.
Right.
That they don't know really how to use a computer. They all have shitty cell phones and pagers for everything. They're just really trapped a decade earlier.
Yeah.
And so it was almost fitting that you also have this gritty, grainy quality 4:3 format screen.
Yeah.
To watch everything through. But I can let that go for quality. The entertainment behind it, I mean, it wasn't such a sticking point. I didn't think it was that necessary.
I still think that, I've kind of waffled back and forth over the years, but The Wire still, depending on the day that you ask me about it, goes a little bit. It jumps around a little bit, but more often than not, I'll tell you that it's it's probably my favorite TV show of all time.
For just about anyone who ever watches it, it's got to be in the top. And I can understand Bammer's point that, like you said, the political stuff maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea. I still remember finding that really fascinating because you go into this examination of political corruption and how it's just kind of bred into the entire system. So even if you want to enter with optimism, it's going to get bled out of you.
Yeah.
And you're just going to become another pawn in the corruption that's going on there.
That's one of the things that I've always found to be the reason that I find The Wire so compelling is that there's a storytelling shorthand that a lot of crime shows will do, where you this is this gritty crime show set in New York City where everybody's crappy and there's crime all over the place. But what I find so genius about The Wire and about even the fifth season compared to a bunch of other shit, I'd rather watch the fifth season of The Wire than any episode of NCIS ever. Just
easily, yeah. It's not even that bad. It's just in comparison, it's the worst one.
It's a little fanciful compared to the other ones. Are so grounded, and what I love about it is that it gives you such a well-rounded perspective on the entirety of Baltimore and the issues and stuff that it doesn't let you just go, oh well, scumbag drug dealers, right? So we've got the good guy cops and the scumbag drug dealers, and then
there's good guys and scumbags on both sides,
right?
And what's important is, even if you know someone's kind of a scumbag, they still show redeeming values and like moral quandaries and justification from the bad guys as well.
Sure.
It makes everyone across the board endearing in some capacity.
Yeah.
I think. Even Rawls, the police captain, who's just a fucking prick. Sometimes he's hilarious and it's
But I tell you what, every time they have a funeral and Rawls gives his speech, I'm like openly weeping. Like the dude is, He's, I mean, like his day job, he's like reading porno while eating Chinese food, telling everybody to go fuck off, and no, you can't have overtime, and no, you can't have any extra people. And then, like the moment it comes time for him to be heartfelt, it's just fantastic.
Anyone who's watching Gotham right now, I think that's Falcone now, the same actor. And it's just sad on there. Like, no, you're much better than that.
That entire show is sad.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's a fantastic show. And like when they got to the part where they were doing the public school system, like
season 4,
I think I started to lose a little bit of interest until you started seeing like this is the crucible that has produced the characters that are pivotal to kind of the rest of the show. And
yeah, it's so vital.
Yeah,
and it starts hitting about midway through.
Yeah,
where all of a sudden you're like, okay, I see what you're doing with this, and yeah, it's profound.
Yeah. I highly recommend it.
All the way through.
Recommend it to everybody. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we still got some time. All right, let's see here. Next one is coming in from Tristan. He says, "Hello, Rage Masters. Greetings from California, land of overpriced everything and overbloated quotey fingers Comic Con. My question for you, blessing of the dong Lord willing, is this. I often play female characters more than male, despite being a man in real life. I've done this since Chun-Li carried me further on one quarter than anyone else in the Street Fighter roster. Got to sag it. I feel the stigma of real-life gender dictating your avatar's gender to be sillier than all of Pinkie Pie's combined antics from all 4 seasons of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Okay. I'm sorry if mentioning the show's special summons Matt Frank with a +10 kaiju knowledge skill. Back to my question. How do you best deal with people that have trouble or give you trouble for this playstyle? I understand that there are some groups of players that don't like it due to their own insecurities. However, I don't have a YouTube channel, comment section, or a Jason Murphy to haze me for this. Keep up the great work and praise unto you, Jeff and guest. Your fan since the bar days, Tristan." So, Jason used to fuck with me more about this than anybody else. John, I don't know has this ever come up with us about what do you... I mean, when you may have an avatar creation, what do you do? Just hit the random button until...
No, I mean, I usually create a guy. I mean, that's me. But, I mean, I don't fault people for... Like, I have friends that create female characters, and you're one of them, obviously.
Yeah.
And I have other friends that it's like, okay, play whoever you want to play as. It's not... It has nothing to do on your... basis on your, like, as some people would suggest, sexuality.
Right.
But is it maybe not sexuality... But is it like your gender identity?
No.
Like,
no, Jeff, do you prefer to be a girl?
Yes. That's why I read this question. So I can finally come out as...
It's happening!
That's why I wear a dress when we do this show.
It really is a new year.
You said we're not allowed to talk about the dress.
I've tried to explain this before. I feel like a lot of people, depending on when you came into video games, right, that whenever they get the opportunity to create a character, they create a character that looks like them. They identify more with games that have their character, their gender/race/stuff as a character. But when I thought about it, it's like I come from the era when your avatar on the screen was a blob of pixels that didn't look like jack shit, like Atari 2600 days.
Yeah.
Like you're not identifying.
You didn't get to customize them,
right?
Yeah.
And so,
other than making it like green or blue.
So you go all the way up through that. You go through the Nintendo. I mean, like I don't think there were very many customizable characters in the NES era, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, really, the only customization was regarding whether you were player 1 or player 2, and if you were player 1, it was a red color. If you were player 2, it was green.
Right.
Street Fighter, you could kind of change the color of their outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the idea of player customization it's never a thing that I took into account when I played a game, right? So it's just like a lot of times I'll pick the female characters when I get to make my own character, because I play so many goddamn games that have an unshaven mid-30s white dude that it's like, I don't give a fuck. Hit the random button and see. How about a overweight African American dude or a Asian lady, or like, who cares? Like, my identity isn't tied to what I'm seeing on the screen. I played I Am Bread, for fuck's sake. It's not like I loaded up and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not Bread. Fuck this game. And then,
but you played as a female Bread.
That's
of course, yeah.
I put on.
It's the only way to play the game.
You put the bread tits on, and then you
the
go
bread tits and the bow in the
and the little bow on the head. Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. So that's like, I know that Jason used to get weird about it, and I know that there've been a few people on the website who have been curious. I don't know. It's like it's like I've seen different arguments on why people will play, like why males will play as female characters. I mean, there are some that are just like what Jason's saying or Jeff is saying here. Hey, thanks.
Sorry, I've been doing that a lot lately. But like Jeff is saying here, where he's just saying, it's like, I don't care. I don't see a lot of games where I play as female, so I want to play as try that out. So, let's more vary up my game playing experience here.
Sure.
And then I also have some people that are like, I'm playing World of Warcraft and I'm playing for 100 hours a week or whatever, and I have to look at a character's ass all day. I'd rather look at a female ass than a male ass.
Sure.
There are guys that are like that.
I mean, I know that whenever I see a choice of a guy and a girl, I'm like, okay, let me check the girl out and just see, like, oh, is that them in their underwear?
Yeah.
Cool. And then I'm going to go back and customize the guy.
Well, and it's just like, and
I'm a pervert.
Yeah, it's just, there's different reasons for it, and, I don't see a problem with it. I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah, it's something that came up a long time ago, and the reason that I wanted to read this question is because at the end of the day, it's just what I said. There is no, like, when I play Metroid, I'm not less immersed because Samus is a woman.
Yeah.
And when I play Prototype 2, I'm not less immersed because Heller is an African-American man, right?
Yeah.
And like, that doesn't matter to me. It's because my actions in the game dictate my immersion in the game, so it doesn't matter whether I'm playing the same gender or character or race or anything that I am. So why not switch it up?
I just always want to be something different.
Yeah.
If there's a guy and a girl, I'd probably gravitate more toward the girl. If there's guy, girl, and an alien, probably going to be the alien.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas Was Alone, you play a bunch of squares and rectangles. Had no problem getting immersed in that game.
Yeah.
So it really just doesn't matter. Yeah, Thomas Was Alone is great. I keep wanting to put it on the show, but it keeps getting further and further away from when it came out, to the point where it's like a 2-year-old game now. All right, next one comes in from Hin, who says, "Hi, Jeff and companion. Have you ever thought about doing a long-term sequential game? Might I suggest some co-op action with Don't Starve Together? I think the stress of looking for food and fear of wildlife would be great in your already busy life." And the subject line of this email is Sequential Thursdays suggestion. Hin, I don't know if you're just...
Do you not look at the site on Saturdays?
If you don't come on Saturdays, totally already doing a sequential thing on Sequential Saturday.
Did you just start that up?
Yes. We've never done it before. It's a brand new thing. We're on part 13 of... I don't know. No, we've played
part 13 of Uncharted, buddy, with me.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. And before that, you were doing like Arkham or
Metal Gear Solid
or something.
3 with Jason.
And it's always been on Saturdays. Sequential Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since we started the website.
Yeah.
And here's a little hint. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's a well kept secret here at Rage Select. I'm gonna let you in on it.
Uh-oh.
If you join this thing called Patreon, one of the things that we do, we give you some sequential games that others don't get to see because you're
They're too lewd
Yeah.
for normal eyes.
like I had to watch Jeff play a shit ton of Dark Souls 2. So
some might say all of Dark Souls.
yeah. So if
wait, what's that site again?
Patreon.
Be a Patreon subscriber.
Patreon.com/Rage Select?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Go check that out, guys.
Yeah, so I mean, you get tons of
You guys
sequential
are
games.
terrible.
We are professionals.
You're the worst infomercial people I've ever
Is
had.
it weird that we actually scripted this out?
Yes. That's even worse now.
It's all delivery?
It's all it's right here on
This
my
is as
iPad.
bad as in that one infomercial where the lady just like crushes the taco. It's my favorite. My favorite of. Have you ever seen this of all the infomercials?
How do I hold a taco?
Where people don't know how to do things, and there's this one where this lady is putting a taco up to her face, and then she just crushes it with her hand. Like as it's going into her mouth, she just crushes it on her face. She's like, "Oh, goddamn tacos! This always happens to me."
I really fucked up, and now I have taco all over my face.
Oh, come on.
Man, now I want tacos.
Anyway, yes, I read this question just to let you know. Yes, we do a sequential every week, and we have a bunch more for patrons. The main thing is just that we could do a sequential every day of the week.
Now,
that would be really easy, but then we wouldn't get as many.
Here's a question, and I may have misheard you.
No, you don't ask it. They ask the question.
No. Here's a question that's in regards to this question.
Oh, okay.
Does he say something about co-op sequential?
That might be what he was asking.
So have we been making fun of him and being just assholes?
Well, it's his question is, or her question, I don't know, is have you ever thought about doing a long-term sequential game? ?
Okay.
Might I suggest doing some co-op action with Don't Starve Together?
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, I got Don't Starve Together, and it's not local co-op; it's internet co-op.
Oh, that sucks.
I think. I don't know. I got to check on it. I could be wrong about that.
That sucks.
All right.
Because I'd totally be down for some local co-op sequential stuff.
No. I'm going to steal all of your berry bushes. All right. This next one comes in from Renee. Renee says, "Hey, guys, a longtime listener and proud patron. Wanted to see if you knew any great upcoming JRPGs for the 2015 year.
No!
My favorite is going to be Persona 5.
No!
P.S. Jeff, if you could also answer your favorite anime show, that would be awesome.
No!
Long live the dong, Renee."
Damn it, Renee. No!
Okay. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Persona 5, definitely.
Yeah.
Huge, way up on the list.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a Final Fantasy coming out. I don't
Final
know.
Fantasy 15, I think, should be coming out this year.
Sweet.
Think it looks good. Shut up, Grant. You've only ever played bad JRPGs. I've never.
That it?
Well, no.
So-
you need to. I need to tranquilize your tits because
What?
we have to go play a really good JRPG.
Don't you tranquilize my tits.
I will
That's
do
not
it.
even a saying. You just made that up, and it's really weird.
I wanted you to calm them, but I don't think
I have an awkward boner right now.
telling you.
You really do. You need to go turn your shame away from us.
I'm going to do a quick search to see the things that I'm forgetting. Is Bravely Default 2 2015?
I don't know on that. I actually have no idea what JRPG games are coming out this year.
Here's a Reddit called Upcoming JRPG Releases. Okay.
Well, there you go.
Here's a Tumblr called JRPGs in 2015.
I think Androgynous Princess 14 is coming out soon.
Yeah? Is
Yeah.
that what you're into? Okay, this is way too much words.
Isn't there Princess and the Dragon 5 as well?
No, I'll play Final Fantasy Type 0 HD.
Yeah.
I've wanted to play that before.
Isn't there the
it came out.
rumor that Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to come out this year?
Yeah, but I don't think that's just like they put that date out there and then everybody picks it up. Kingdom Hearts 3 ain't going to come out for. I mean, Square will never release more than one RPG in a year, right? For the major consoles.
They could surprise us.
Soul
Saga?
Oh no, yes, I do want to play.
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade for the Wii U. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get into the last one because it was kind of ugly. So
Sparkle Witch Cybercat is coming out this year.
Sparkle Witch.
Bravely Second.
Bravely Second. Yep. Dragon Quest Monster Parade. Okay, that's about. Let's see. 2015. Here we go. Nope. Codename Steam. I'll play that.
Oh yeah. I want to play that on the 3DS. Yeah. It's like Steam Hitler or not Steam Hitler. Steam Abraham Lincoln sends you on a mission to fight aliens.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Shin Megami.
I am not interested.
Wait,
really?
let
it out.
What the fuck?
Codename Steaming Pile of Crap.
Shin
Hey.
Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem for the Wii U?
Oh, I've not heard of this.
What the shit? But then this same list has Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 on the 2015 list.
Well, that's a weird list.
Yeah, I don't know. That's enough.
Robo Squid Butter Pancake.
Robo Squid Butter Pancake is
coming out
that's
soon?
a huge one, man.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
another.
Yeah.
I mean, I would maybe. I don't think I could count. Bloodborne doesn't really count as a JRPG. Souls doesn't really count
really
as a JRPG.
doesn't.
I'll count them as it.
Okay, so then you're going to play a lot of JRPGs this year, Grant. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, when I look at that list, there was a time when that list would have been like 12 pages long, right?
Yeah.
There's vastly
They're
smaller
dying
number.
off.
Yeah.
Gaming is becoming a Western developed thing now. I mean, JRPGs are becoming few and far between.
Yep. What is your favorite anime show?
You gonna say Cowboy Bebop?
Probably Cowboy Bebop. I mean, it's Cowboy Bebop.
Full Metal Alchemy.
No, Cowboy Bebop.
Good.
Trigun.
Trigun's also up there for mine.
Hellsing Ultimate is great.
Attack on Titan.
One of my favorites.
Attack on Titan is good. Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
One of my favorites is it's actually not great. Like I acknowledge that it's not the greatest thing ever, but I love it to death. It's called is an anime called Legend of Black Heaven.
Yeah.
Which it's about basically this retired rock and roll star who's just like he got married, had a kid, is in a 9-to-5 boring job.
It sounds like a terrible TV show.
But then like aliens come to Earth.
There you go. Now you got it.
Well, it's like aliens come to Earth and like, hey, so we use your music to battle aliens, to battle other aliens. So we need you to come to our spaceship to play your guitar so that we can fight these aliens that are trying to destroy all of the universe.
Are they tentacled aliens?
Princess Buttersparkle comes down in the tentacle ship and they take right.
Princess Buttersparkle pancake.
That's right.
It's really badass. It's a really good anime. I like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty traditional. I mean, I stopped. Death Note is good.
Yeah,
Gurren
that one's all right.
Lagann is. I like that one.
Rainbow Squid.
What was that? Hesitant Captain. Fuck, I can't remember that one. There's some old like 90s animes.
Captain?
Yeah, it's about this guy who wanders into an unemployment center in the future, and then he like woos the computer that gives you a job and becomes like a interstellar spaceship captain, but he's terrible at it.
Hesitant Captain.
I don't know. It's not called a hesitant. It's something
the
else.
Sheepish Pirates.
Right. Anyway. All right, let's see what else we got here. This next one comes in from Sergey.
Sergey
Says, "Dear Jeff and John and Grant." This is a Jeff question. But this one I read. This one can apply to John, and I think Grant as well. I work in the IT industry.
I feel special.
And deal with Cisco routers and switches, configuring whatever the end client requires for their network, such as QoS, configuring interfaces, setting up a protocol, etc.
I've done that.
So have I. I found that a lot of my time is simply waiting for managers to finally make a decision of what they want to do with their devices when I can finally get to work. In the meantime, I've just been watching TV shows on my laptop, just waiting for an email with some instructions. My question is, since you've said before you worked in IT, which felt exactly like just telling idiots over the phone to turn it off or turn it on and off again, or have you done anything on the network side?
Cliche for a reason.
Also, did you find moments when, while working in IT or any other job, that you had jack all to do and had to find something to entertain yourself with? Sincerely yours, Sergey. I don't know.
Nothing entertains our audience more than having people talk about IT.
The boring IT stories.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to think. I may use IT shorthand for technical support, which is not really the same thing. I mean, I've done internal like facilities work for network places and some minor networking junk. But yes, jobs are crap.
Yeah. I still deal with one.
All right, next question.
Customer service, though. Not so much IT or tech support.
I mean, here's I'll boil down his question. What's the thing you would do at work to waste time while you're waiting for other people to
masturbate?
Right.
You don't do that in an office.
Oh.
That'll get you fired real quick.
That's why I don't have a job anymore.
Yeah. For me, I actually, for a long while, started a webcomic.
Yeah?
I just drew at my desk all the time, and then I started a webcomic, and then I got a job where I couldn't do that anymore, so I ended the webcomic.
I bought one of those teeny tiny Nintendo, what's the one before the DS? Game Boy Advance?
Oh, yeah?
You know, the one that's
the
size
micros?
of a Nintendo? Yeah, so I could just put it in my lap and play Fire Emblem on it, and then when my boss came, I would just drop it on the floor, and like he didn't know what was going on.
I also had one of those little micro RC cars that I would drive around on my desk.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? That's the moment that I decided that I started on the path that would leave me here, that would lead me to where I am sitting right here, right now, is the day when I was working technical support and I was on the phone with some server person telling them to turn it back on, and I was browsing the internet, and my boss was sitting behind me, and he tapped me on the shoulder, and he's like, "You can't surf the internet while you're on these calls." And I was just like, Nope. This is the most boring job in the entire world, and you're telling me that I can't look at goddamn web pages while I'm talking to people on the phone. And so, like 2 weeks later, I quit, and then I got a part-time job and went to school, and here I am now.
Yeah, I will say the most craziest thing I ever did because I was bored, and actually partially wasn't because I was bored, was I was supposed to go on my lunch break, and they were like, no, you need to call this customer back and support them because they're having an issue, and we've decided that only you can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be on lunch, and they're like, well, you'll have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
And this really pissed me off, and they handed me a portable phone that does not require me to be in one place to do anything, so I literally called the person using this phone, walked to the elevator, rode the elevator down the building, went across the street to the eatery while talking to this customer, telling them everything they need to do to fix their problem or whatever, put them on mute, ordered my food, got my food, walked back to the office, sat there and basically never once looked at a computer, touched a computer, supported their issue the entire time, got back to work, and like my boss was like, when did you go get food? And I was like, I'm still on this call. Can you talk to me a little bit later? I'm helping a customer right now. But when did you get? I'll talk to you later. Got off the phone and I was like, the customer was totally happy, gave rave reviews. I got, good, responses from the customer saying it was awesome, support was awesome and everything. My boss was like, where'd you get the food? And I'm like, I went across the street and got food. When? While I was on the call. Wait, the range on that phone actually goes that far? I was like, apparently.
Nice.
Just because I was pissed. I was like, well, fuck you. I'm supposed to be eating right now. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Our next question comes in from, let's see, Vova, who says, hello.
Volva?
Yes. Vova, who says, hello, Jeff, and add in who is with Jeff, John and Grant. Thanks for making and delivering all the great content you make. I love it. Keep on raging. Question, if OnLive and PlayStation Now would be great and running tomorrow morning, would you as a consumer buy into it and play all of the PlayStation and or other games for a monthly subscription fee? Thank you, Vova.
Wait, what?
If OnLive and PlayStation Now actually worked correctly and went on a subscription system instead of a pay-by-the-minute system, would you start playing stuff over that instead of buying stuff at the store?
Actually, when OnLive first launched, it was a subscription system.
Yeah.
And I totally played that. I owned an OnLive console. It was only when they got bought by another company that it sucked.
Have you tried PlayStation Now yet?
No, I haven't.
Do you know what we're talking about? This is the service where they instead of having a console, they stream the game directly to you. So your controller inputs get basically dumped down the internet pipeline to a server that is controlling the game offsite. So instead of having a console, there's a console somewhere else that is basically piping your so you pipe your input through the internet to it, and then when you hit left, that goes to the server moves your guy left, and then that translates back to your television.
What?
Yeah. This has been a service that's been kind of budding for a while now. PlayStation has a whole bunch of there's actually a story last week where a certain number of Samsung TVs are getting a firmware upgrade that'll let them do PlayStation, so you don't even have to have a PlayStation. But with PlayStation, you have to like rent it by the hour.
Yeah.
They don't have like a $30 a month and then play however much you want to.
Is it expensive?
It's a little bit expensive.
Unless you're buying it for a really long time, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I think that especially, here in Austin, like if we had when Google Fiber gets more distributed, Google Fiber, come to my neighborhood.
Tell me about it.
That it'll be faster, right? Because your input, the main problem right now is there's a lag. There's a delay between when you hit your controller and when your guy on screen does a thing. Or there was.
Yeah, and that's
when I tried OnLive.
There can be. When I tried OnLive, it worked fine. Like it was there was maybe like a 1 millisecond delay. Like
too much.
For some people, like a pro gamer or something like that, that's not
too much.
I'm a pro gamer. That's why. That's
you
see me. Pro. I'm a professional. But I think that if they could just get that shit standardized and then make it so that it wasn't ridiculously expensive, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to I hate the idea of renting a game for 7 hours and then starting the clock and going, I gotta keep playing this for 7 hours, man.
Do you think there's a bunch of original PlayStation games that you're like, man, I want to play all those?
No.
It's not the same thing as Nintendo.
No.
But that's not.
Unless we're doing a
years generation thing.
Unless we're doing a show, I don't go back and play older games. Unless it's there's a few things on the PC, like some of the old Metal Gears or some Dark Souls, some of my favorite games, right? That I'll go back and play from time to time.
I think this is where you and I differ.
Yeah,
because I do go back and play those games.
Yeah,
I do. I own. I still have my PlayStation 2 because I can play PS1 games, and I still own old PS1 games that I'll go back and play every now and then just because I enjoy those games. And also, I would totally play, like Chrono Trigger, the PlayStation re-release of it, or any of those Final Fantasy games that came out for the original PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. I remember when they did that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say that just because I don't do it that nobody should. But
I know.
I mean, I honestly, we've gone on this topic before. People really hate it when you go future projection-y, right? But like, there's a pretty solid case to be made that if the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and if whatever Nintendo's got in the pipeline next, if it's a console or not, if these consoles manage to last for another 10 years, at the end of that 10-year cycle, all of the boxes that we have that do this shit are going to be gone because the network infrastructure is going to be fast enough that everything can work like on live. Your PC can be remotely hosted somewhere else. You just buy server space instead of having to buy a PC. You just buy time somewhere else.
Reducing clutter's cool.
Well, not just that, but the ability to basically have a fully functional PC on any device that has a screen, right?
Yeah.
Because then your cell phone is your PC. You don't have to worry about, is my cell phone fast enough to run this app? No, because it's all being run somewhere else. So all you need to do when the apps that you're using, whether it's a television or the Oculus or a game console or TV or whatever, is have it hooked up to the internet that's fast enough to stream that shit back and forth. And suddenly all this shit we've been dealing with for years about, is my computer fast enough to play that, is gone because it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. I mean, I think it's a definite change. And I think that the people who are way into having physical media that they can hold on to in their hand forever,
I feel really bad for those people.
They're gonna hate that shit, right? But I think we're one generation away from that, where people aren't gonna care if they have physical media.
I like to have physical media, but I also see that's digital is where it's all going.
Sure.
And just like with CDs, like now you give me a CD and I'm like, what is this? Why are you handing me a CD?
Yeah.
What aren't we past this? It's all digital now, man.
My laptop doesn't have a CD port anymore.
My car doesn't have a tape deck. I've got a bunch of tapes that I spent a lot of money on tapes when I was a kid. And then they all got thrown away, right? Because that happens eventually.
I have all these comics. They're not on my
You can go to hell, sir.
computer anymore.
I've got a bag somewhere in my bedroom that has like 4 pagers in it, right? Because I never threw any of my
You were a
pagers.
drug dealer?
These were all the pagers that I ever owned.
Is
I
that
just
why
never
do we
threw them
just
away.
use your product you're supposed to be selling during the break?
Yes, that's what we're doing. You're getting high on your own supply.
We
All
shouldn't
right.
have done that, dude.
I think we're going to do one more, and then we're going to call this a wrap. Oh, wait. I've still got a whole bunch more questions. I don't know. Let's see. This one comes in from King Fugazi, who says, "Hello, Jeff, Grant, and John. I'm a tad drunk right now." Thank you. I would just really enjoy hearing my email read on the show. If you could do so, I'd vastly appreciate it. I love your work. Anyway, just for shits and gigs, what director would you like to see director a Batman film, assuming the Batman title wasn't licensed to DC/Warner Brothers and anyone could make one? All hail the one true dong. May the dong be forever in your favor, King Fugazi. Or is it Fugazi? Or
Fugazi.
is it, okay.
Fugazi.
I would like to point out one thing first.
Yes.
Jeff took "I'm a tad bit drunk right now" as a compliment.
Yes.
At the start
He
of
said
this-
thank you.
He's like, "Oh, thanks.
Thanks,
Oh,
man. You know-
wow, how you flatter me."
Yeah. When I said this, when I posted this on Facebook, does anybody have any questions? You were like, I do. But you, sir, with the beer in your hand. I recognize that. What do you got? Who should direct Batman?
Wes Anderson.
Oh. Man, that would be ridiculous.
Uwe Boll. No.
Who to direct Batman? Did you see recently those the picture of the alien stuff from Neil Blomkamp?
Yeah.
Who's
No.
going to do that?
Somebody. You asked me that
I
yesterday.
actually talked to you about it
This
yesterday.
guy had some fascinating pictures that he
Yeah.
had for his pitch. Not that necessarily I'd want him for that.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see. I think that after watching Gone Girl, I'd like to see Fincher direct
I was
a
just
Batman
thinking
movie.
Fincher
Yeah.
for some reason.
But it's more like Seven than like Batman. Like,
Yeah.
Oh God. Trying to think of people who do good crime junk.
It's a good crime.
Michael
movie.
Bay.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay's Batman.
I would have loved to see Michael Bay's Batman. Like, it would make Joel Schumacher's Batman look restrained. And how are we back on fucking Batman? All right.
Everything
full
comes
circle.
Back to Batman.
Everything
Full
goes
circle,
back to that.
friend.
5 degrees of 7 degrees of Batman.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Okay.
I'd like to see that guy's take.
Okay.
I think he's smart. I like his creative decisions in that department. After seeing Pacific Rim, I kind of want to see Guillermo del Toro's take. On
That'd actually be
Batman.
kind of cool.
Gus Van Sant. Boom. Done. Conversation over. No.
Batman sucking Joker's dick.
Aaron Sorkin's Batman.
Wait, did I see the wrong movie? What
I
was
think
that
you
Gus
might
Van
have.
Sant movie.
Which
I might be confusing him with someone else.
did you see? Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you've seen a movie where Batman's sucking Superman?
No.
Is that what
No.
is that what you're? I mean, I
That's a
haven't.
porn, my friend.
That will be deleted
I
from the
get-
final audio.
No, it won't.
I stopped watching Gus Van Sant movies after Antichrist, so you know.
Wait, who's? I'm thinking of the other dude who did
no, I'm thinking-
Brown Bunny.
Oh,
Gallo, Vincent Gallo.
Vincent Gallo. I
That's
think
what
of the
I'm
right
thinking.
person. He was Gus Van Sant is the one who did Antichrist, right?
Lars von Trier.
Lars von Trier. No, that's what it is. Not Gus Van Sant. Lars
We're
von
all
Trier's.
fucked up.
Yeah, Lars von Trier directs Batman. That's it. Boom. Done. Good.
You know who I would who would make the most fucked up Batman movie? Jodorowsky.
Oh, Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, he would probably make a movie that would just be so fucked up and weird.
Yeah.
I just thought of it. The dude who made The Raid. Or,
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
if it's not the Raid dude, the guy who just directed Dredd.
Yeah.
Because it's similar enough.
Who did direct Dredd?
Who did direct Dredd?
Oh man,
That
that's
is
gonna-
the question for the ages, Jeff.
I'm waiting for that guy to
Because-
direct a Dread sequel.
Because Dredd and The Raid were pretty similar movies.
I started watching Dredd and then fell asleep in front of it. Pete Travis.
Yeah, Pete Travis would be good.
Who? What else did he do?
I don't
Got
know.
anything else?
Endgame, Vantage Point, Omag, Henry VIII, 2-part television film, The Jury, Other People's Children. I've never heard of any of this bullshit
Okay.
and ever.
Russo brothers are pretty hot right now. We can
Yeah.
put them in charge of it.
You can, I
I liked
might.
what they did with Winter Soldier.
What's his name from the Looper? Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
You could see him doing a Batman.
Rain Johnson. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I think that Looper.
I think if he did like a Riddler
I think that we'll see. I think that
one.
Brick shows that he's got.
He could do a Nightwing movie.
Nightwing.
Brick shows that he's got crime, like film noir, right?
Yeah.
And then I think Looper shows that he can deal with special effects and like action and things that are a little bit more fanciful, like you would see in a Batman movie. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
All right.
This will be mine. All right.
I'm going to go with the 42 people I recommended.
Yeah.
Whip through a few more of these. Hello, Jeff, Grant, and John. Brand new Patreon subscriber and first-time questioner. Not video game related, but what's your favorite brand/style of beer you've had? I live a few hours away from Burlington, Vermont, so I have found the deliciousness of Heady Topper to be my favorite guilty pleasure, although at the high price of $75 per case. What? What beers have you guys had in your lives that you will always love/never forget, rage on, and keep laying the dong? Kenneth. Okay, this is just specifically for you, Grant, because I drink cheap beer and John doesn't drink at all.
Yeah, I don't drink beer at
So-
all.
Heady
so-
Topper is a great beer. One of my favorite beers, I always say, is Zombie Dust out of Three Floyds, which is just outside of Chicago.
Okay.
But it's hard to get that. I love what Jester King does down here in Austin. I could drink Das Wunderkind is one of my favorite beers that they brew.
Is some
but they
kind of Nazi beer?
La Vie en Rose. They make a bunch. Yeah, I like the Nazi aspects of it.
Yeah.
I just a lot of their beers are really solid. We have a bunch of great breweries actually kind of popping up around here.
I mean, Live Oak is not bad at all.
Live Oak is delicious.
all over the place.
Live Oak's Hefeweizen is probably one of the best hefts you can get in the U.S. at least, if not the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
There's a bunch of beers. I kind of alternate between styles all the time. Right now, I've been on a lambic and sours kind of kick. Maybe
Ooh.
some funky.
You mix them
farmhouses
together?
as well.
It's a little sweet and sour.
Well, I mean, I prefer the sour lambics more than the sweeter ones. I guess.
Okay. All right. We got a couple more. This one comes in from our friend Beta Ray Brace, who says, "Dear Jeff, Grant, and John, what is the weirdest cameo that you've ever seen? My vote goes to Thomas Lennon as Bruce Wayne's doctor in The Dark Knight Rises. Yes, I know he'd also played a doctor in Nolan's Memento, but it was still bizarre to suddenly see Lieutenant Dangle show up in a Batman movie. Cheers from Beta Ray Brace. I did not think about this question when I was picking it out 5 minutes ago or an hour, depending on how long we've been doing this. Weird cameos.
Weirdest cameos. I mean, I think last time we were talking about Inglourious Bastards and Mike Myers popping up, weren't we? And that's just a weird one always to me. Like, what is Mike Myers doing in Inglourious Bastards?
Who was he in Inglourious Bastards?
He was one of those. He was the British, commander, like in that one hall, like giving him the strategy plan.
Okay,
Yeah,
like somewhere in the middle of the movie.
It's easy. It's an easy part to miss too.
Okay, I didn't really care for Inglourious Bastards all that much, so
that was a weird cameo.
Yeah, it was a weird cameo.
Marilyn Manson was in the last season of Sons of Anarchy. A little bit weird. Him and Courtney Love. Courtney Love did pretty much nothing, so that was also weird in itself.
Was that
par for course for her?
I love it in Fight Club where the dude from Live shows up as the waiter for them when he drags Marla into the diner.
That's the dude from Live?
That's the lead singer of Live. Yeah, like
Oh,
that's a little bit of an odd one.
I didn't even know that was him.
Sometimes I just don't recognize actors. Like I always find it weird every time I go back and watch Dodgeball that fucking what's his name from Arrested Development is the crazy ESPN Ocho backwards hat wearing like cool guy host.
Yeah,
there was an episode of there was an episode of House that caught me off guard because there's a bartender that's played by Fred Durst, and it doesn't look like it looks like it was just like. All I see is I see Fred Durst's name. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, he was never in that episode. And I went back and someone pointed him out. And I'm like, that does not look like Fred Durst. That looks like an old fat bald man.
That's what
turns out. That's what Fred Durst looks like.
I'm just using the internet now.
Yeah.
Jeff's cheating.
I'm a cheater. I'm a dirty cheater.
Jeff, what are the weirdest cameos that you can recall from the internet?
Oh, look, it's answers.com, basically. These are not the weirdest cameos. Alice Cooper in Wayne's World.
It had
Charlie Sheen and Being John Malkovich. These are not bizarre cameos at all.
No, not at all.
Are you on answers.com?
I am on No, I don't even think this is whatculture.com. Vanilla Ice and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. This is the worst list I've ever seen on the entire internet. Like, come on, man.
Vanilla Ice was a little weird in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. All of a sudden,
Ninja Rap
to break into a whole song for them.
Here's the worst and most distracting film cameos of 2012.
2012. We should
topical.
just move past this question if we can't answer it anymore beyond that.
Yep, I can't. I'm trying to think, but I can't.
Just don't worry about it, dude.
All right, dear Jeff and folks, if you had to turn any movie into a video game that hasn't been done before, what would you make? Chelsea, this is one that we get from time to time, but it's always worth thinking about. Turning a movie into a video game. Well, The Wire, obviously, would make a pretty good video game.
That's a TV show, my friend.
Oh, right.
You going to make a Telltale game out of that?
No, it's just McNulty blasting people in a side scroll.
I was going to say John Wick.
John Wick, maybe.
Yeah.
John Wick has this cool little twist midway through the movie where it's like there's this cult of killers basically, and it's like all this
oh right, when they're in the hotel.
This idea that they're
of course I guess it would just be Hitman almost
lends itself to a video game. Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah. Oh, you know what? I've been thinking about this for a long time, or I've been thinking about this as a concept for a long time. I do not understand why Marvel will not go pay somebody to make movie game tie-ins for the movies.
Because they did, and they sucked.
But they don't like
earlier on. Yeah, they had like a whole.
And then they said, "Let's just not do that anymore."
Right, but like I look at Guardians of the Galaxy, and that game is that movie is goddamn made to be a video game. It is made to be a video game.
There's an iPad game that I've heard is pretty good.
But like you've got Ronan and his troops, you've got the Nova Corps and their troops, and you've got like in the movie there's like 6 different locations, and each one of them can have different types of stuff.
Battle,
yeah. I mean, Disney Infinity 2.0 had a whole Guardians of the Galaxy thing that worked out just fine, right? So,
speaking of James Gunn, I'd take like an indie version of Super, where you're the super guy and you can just go around a regular town and beat people up with a wrench and then avoid the cops.
It's called Grand Theft Auto. That's exactly what it's called.
Except for you move slower and you're not as stealthy.
Oh, that's Postal 2 is what that's where you pee on people. Yeah, I don't know. There seems like it seems like a lot of the summer blockbusters over the last few years, I don't understand why they don't have video game tie-ins that are good. Like if they'd have made a good I know that if Matt Frank is listening right now, his head would explode, right? Obviously, but Pacific Rim would have been perfect to make a video game out of.
There was a video game.
I know.
It was a piece of shit.
That a real legitimate video game out of, not that piece of shit
fighting game.
Connect, iPad, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But like, how hard is it? How hard is it? You've already got like
they're all rendered out. Just apply some under mechanic motion.
You've got 5 or 6 different robots. You've got a few different monsters already. It's not hard. They've already mentioned other, like the website has other, what do they call them? Jaegers, right? And their names and like who was. So pick your Jaeger, put a crew in them. They've got different attributes. Go out and put together a really intricate fighting system. And
Jeff, I'm going to take your answer and join you in that chorus.
Okay.
Pacific Rim video game.
Right.
That's what I want to see.
That is not the one that was released.
This is not the one that already came out. I'm trying to think of what were the big movies last year. So the Star Trek reboot seems like it's been perfect. They've been trying to make Star Trek video games for a long time, and the new Star Trek movie is all like actiony and shit. Oh wait, they did. They had one last year. And it actually wasn't the worst game I've ever played in my life. But why?
Star Trek game?
They don't legit. Are you kidding me?
That does not sound fun to me.
Are you kidding me with this shit, Grant?
It doesn't sound fun to me.
Have you ever played Mass Effect in your entire life?
No.
Well, that's basically Star Trek the video game, and it's a gigantic franchise.
It's better, right? Because it's Mass Effect. And it's not Into Darkness, which you apparently didn't have great things to say just a second ago about.
When was that?
Star Trek. You said there was a Star Trek game and you didn't like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that game was last. Was that last year or was that 2012?
Am I the only one listening to this show?
No, I don't listen to what I say. But there's
I don't listen to myself. So.
There's no reason why if you don't like they've already cracked the code on this with Batman, right? If you give the licensed game to a company far enough in advance with enough money to actually make a decent game, they'll make a decent game and everybody will really like it. Like it's demonstrable.
Well, and I think that's where the difference is that the Arkham games are not based on a movie; they're based on a comic property.
Sure.
And whenever a studio is given a license, it's like, okay, hey, we're gonna make this movie about this. We're gonna make this movie about whatever. We want a video game tie-in. Mm-hmm. We just greenlit this movie to start filming this year, so you have to start working on the game this year. By the way, the movie comes out next year, and we need the game to come out the exact same week that the movie comes out. So get to working, and that's why they suck. Is because they're rushed. They don't have the time to work on their shit.
Oh yeah.
Any of the licensed movie games that actually are halfway decent, it's because they originally weren't licensed for those games. That was just something afterwards. They're like, oh, well, we're working on this. I guess we can repurpose it to be this movie or this license or whatever.
But now that they're having a second Pacific Rim, they should be making a better game.
I think that them making a new Star Wars movie, I think it'd be ridiculous not to try to make. I mean, Star Wars franchise in and of itself is made for. You know how many goddamn Star Wars video games there already are?
Star Wars doesn't like to capitalize in multiple industries, I don't think. That doesn't sound like them.
Or, I don't know. I mean, I think of the best licensed properties that I've ever seen were South Park and Riddick.
Yeah.
And both of those seem to work because the people that made them cared, right? Is that the people who were the creators of the property were directly involved in a lot of ways instead of just shoving that shit off to another company, just going, I don't know, make some bullshit, right? And
Didn't
it'll sell.
Vin Diesel buy that game studio or something?
Stardock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did The Fault in Our Stars end up getting made into a game yet?
No.
Yes, it was a really touching game made by the.
Oh man! All right, folks. Well, that is our extra long question and answer show this week. Mail@rageselect.com is the email address. Drop us a line, send us a question, and if you will excuse us, I think there's more drugs downstairs, right?
Drugs.
More drugs.
I'm gonna go get tacos.
All right. You get the tacos, you get the drugs, get outside. Deal.
Try to discover a little something to make things sweeter. Oh, baby, refrain from breaking my heart. I'm so in love with you. I'll be forever true. What religion or reason could drive a man to forsake his heart? Don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no.
I don't really know the words.
So I hear you calling. Oh, baby, please give a little respect to me. It's always too high pitched.
Yeah. I actually don't know half the words to that song. If I knew more, I would have joined in a little bit more wholeheartedly.